What's going on, everybody? It's Nate, your vintage roller, coming to you today with a new skate day today again. This was pretty cool because of how everything worked out on this one. A few months ago, I reached out to an up-and-coming company called Lava Skates. Talked to them, told them I really liked their product, what they looked like, how they, the things that I was seeing on them, all the colors. Because man, they have some really cool colors. And shortly after I reached out to them and talked to them, they got back to me and said that they would be willing to send me a set of skates to review and talk about and give my impressions on. And today is actually that day. Today I actually received my tan and black Lavas. I believe these are the 755s. The box is plain, so there's no real information on them. But yeah, so this is an up-and-coming company out of China. They've got several different colors, white, blue, black, these tan, black, and purple ones. And initial thoughts on these skates, seeing them on Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff, I was pretty excited for them, really, because the way they looked, they didn't look like most of the other skates on the market. They had kind of their own unique vibe and aesthetic to them. And then shortly after I saw Lava release their pictures and images, I saw Trigger with almost the exact same skate come out. And from everything that I've seen, can't confirm it, haven't confirmed it, and I'm not trying to dig into that with them, but I'm pretty sure it's the exact same skate. But I digress from all of that and all that craziness going on to talk about this skate. So overall, this skate came to me as an aggressive skate. It does come disassembled, so I had to put all of it together, the frame, the sole plate, and the boot, put it all together, and then was able to get them on, try them out, test them, roll them around a little bit. Unfortunately, I'm still not healthy enough to do tricks because my doctor says I'm not allowed to jump or fall or hurt my shoulder. So that'll be coming here in the next few weeks. But I was able to ride them around, do a couple jumps, feel how they actually respond and lean. And overall, they're a very, very solid skate. Just out of the box, their look down aesthetic is really nice. They've got a very, very unique look down. Very similar to the old Seba CJ2s, CJ1, CJ2s, SXs, except in plastic form. And then it's got the 45 degree, which is a ratchet buckle. Push it to release it. Ratchet it down, sign it up. It is removable, so that is a good thing. So if you don't want a 45 degree strap, or you don't want to worry about destroying your 45 degree strap and having to get a new one, then you can just take it off. The laces themselves are flat, standard hockey laces. They are waxed, so they've got a good grip to them. So you know that they're going to hold up when you're doing your tricks and not come undone. This black feature right here is actually a rubberized toe cap that is removable, which is pretty neat. That I think is a neat little feature. Adds a cool little vibe to the skate. Moving down from there, you've got a huge sole plate negative. So like I said, when this skate came to me, it came disassembled. So in order to do everything justice, I disassembled the other side, and this is the sole plate that comes with it. Do the measurements from where the frame sits to the outside, it's 1 3/4 inches all the way up. So that's probably one of the bigger ones that I've seen over the years for when it comes to sole plates. The negative on the inside is literally just over 1 1/3 inches. So, I mean, you've got 1.75 inches here and 1.33 inches here to do your tricks. The grooves are not a traditional just curved groove. They are kind of laid back, very reminiscent of the way the super flat groove was on the backslide plate for the Razors. It's got the oblong arch here. It's nice and deep set and actually fits very well with the frame, the way the frame goes. The negative is the exact same way. It's got a very oblong shape to it, so you can actually lean in, and instead of, you can get the cockeyed Royale, or you can get up on top of it and get the flat Royale. However you want to choose it, these sole plates will be able to do that for you. Moving down further down the boots, the frame that came with these, initially when I saw them online, I was like, oh man, those look like the classic ground control 2s. And then I looked a little closer, they looked a lot like the old youth frames. And then now that I get them in my hand, it's kind of a blend of both of them. It's got the standard like ground control style insert here that's not changeable. You can't do anything with it like you can with Creates, but it is set. The axles are recessed, so you're not going to worry about getting stuck on anything. The thing that's got me kind of tripping out right now is this H block is crazy wide. It's almost as wide as the Aeon's is. And I don't have my tape measure, but I would love to get those measurements for you when I can. It's got a very, very wide H block, so your standard, aggressive wheels are usually about 24 millimeters wide this way. So you got to think that's almost 48 millimeters of grind space right there, just from start to finish. It's also got a very open channel in it, so instead of being a traditional round that you got to work on, this has got a more of a flattened arch to it. So if you are hitting some of those like flat rails, or if you're hitting some of the classic rod iron rails or something like that, this is actually going to lock onto them and hold you in position, and so you're not going to slide anywhere. The sides are beveled on it really nicely, so you'll be able to get a good groove for laying down your Royales or Torques, or rolling into your Unities and Savannahs and stuff like that. So that's definitely a pretty cool feature. It's got your traditional plastic anti-rockers that come with it, so I'm not overly thrilled about those just because it's plastic anti-rockers. We all know what happens. They chunk, they break. The ones that are in these look very similar to the ones in the Seba Frames. So, and honestly, like looking at this a little more, it looks like it's a lot very similar to the Seba Frame too that came with the SXs and the CJs and CJ2s. So that's there. The wheels that came with it are just their standard stock 59 millimeter 98s. And they feel very, very similar to what the Murder Militia wheels feel like. So I'm pretty optimistic to ride these and see how they compare to my company wheels. Moving back up into the boot here. It is ventilated on both sides. So just above where your groove is, you've got a vent here. And then just over where your groove is on the inside, you've got a vent here. That'll help your feet breathe a little better. It's got your traditional plastic foot saver for when you're trying to not get stabbed by bolts and whatnot. The bottom here, the shock absorber itself does detach and come out. It's got notches so it locks into position because the shock absorber does sit directly here into this, and it locks into these notches on both sides of the skate. So that's a really neat feature, so you're not going to have to worry about your shock absorber sliding around. The UFS receptors are just standard flat square UFS receptors that drop in. They don't really stay in place. I might end up super gluing mine in place just so I don't lose them if I'm changing frames or stuff like that. Little bit different down on the bottom here is the first time I've had a set of skates like this. So these skates are not just set up for aggressive skating. They are set up for power booting or urban skating. It's got the raised toe here, so when you're putting in your rocker frames, your wizard frames, or any of the endless series that have got a raised heel and a lower toe, you're going to be able to sit into them, and they do come with the hardware for those. So you're going to be able to change over from aggressive to power blading or urban blading, however you want to. And it's got the notches here, so you're not going to have to worry about wheel rub or anything else like that from your frames sitting too low or your wheels being a little too big. You should have the clearance that you need to when you're connecting your urban blades or your big wheel, your tri wheels, however you're going to ride it. All right. I did get full disclosure about the liners when I received them, and he said that the liners are a work in progress, honestly, just because it is a new company. They're trying to invest more into the shell to get the shell the way they want it before they worry about the liners, and I can understand that. But getting into it overall, this is the liner that comes with it. It's very indicative of a standard stock liner. The toe isn't neoprene. It's actually just a foam, a semi-reinforced foam toe with stitching across the top. The tongue is actually stitched in very nicely, so you can actually give it a good yank and pull. I did that earlier today, trying to make sure that when I was pulling the skate on, I was getting it in, getting a solid fit on it. It's a neat little feature here. I don't know if they're going to keep going, but I think it's pretty neat. It's actually a Velcro detachable logo for the liner. I thought that was super neat, especially with my background in the military and Velcro tack patches. Like, I was like, that's super cool. I could put one of these on my backpack, or I could put one of them on a hat or something like that and be able to represent these skates that way. It's super cool. The tongue is does have an elastic connection in the front. Wearing these around the house and the driveway for 45 minutes to an hour earlier, I can honestly say these liners, for being stock, don't sleep on them. I'll say that. I know what was told to me when the skates were coming to me, hey, you change your liner out, it'll probably be a better fit, this, that, and the other. And I appreciate that coming from the owner. But I want to tell him that I'm not dissatisfied with this liner. For the price point that these skates come in at, it's a decent liner for what you're going to be paying for. And I think it's a great starting point for them. A couple things that need to be tweaked and moved around here would be great. The tongue is a little short for my taste, but it does feel good. It's got a good solid structure to it. It feels really nice. It's got a nice standard V cut in the back, so you can actually get a good, comfortable fit around your Achilles tendon and your lower calf muscle and whatnot. The pull strap yanked on it pretty good, put my skate on, and had no issues with that coming undone like I've had in previous liners. You can still lace your liners up. I just threw these on without any laces and rolled them around, kind of like the classic way we used to with old Razors, and found it to be very comfortable. And honestly, I think my first few sessions in these skates, I'm going to be skating with the stock liners just so I can actually give you guys a true and just opinion on what these skates are looking like. Overall, man, first impressions of the skate, man, I am blown away for this being a company that's just coming up and was willing to send these out to me on a risk to try them out, to give them ideas and feedbacks and impressions on the skates. And the feel in the hand, they really, if I were to compare them to a skate in hand weight-wise, these are a 41, 42 European, so you're looking like a 27 centimeter, 9.5, somewhere in there. They probably feel very similar to what the Seba CJ2s, the white ones, or the ones that came out before the primes, the green ones, the white ones, the black ones, would feel like weight-wise. The frame's definitely a lot heavier than the Seba frame, I can tell you that, so I think it's going to be a little bit more durable and stand a little bit more of a test than the Seba frames do. Then also, I think that's about it, man. I can't really say too much about the aesthetic of it. I did do a little bit of flexing in them to see how the forward flex was, the side to side was. So the forward flex in these, so as you're leaning forward and you're getting a good flex into them, you're going to find that it's a very similar forward flex to a sway, a little bit stiffer. So you're going to have that security there where you're leaning forward a little bit more. So I'd say probably along the lines of like an SL or a Cult forward flex, maybe even a Rossi's Fifth Element or Majestic 12 forward flex. If you got your skate set right, you're going to get that good, nice, gentle forward flex where you can feel yourself move and you've got support. Backwards on these, it really doesn't go too far back from what I felt. I tried to lean back on them and intentionally get myself off balance, and they really don't move backwards too much. And then the side to side on them, the overall aesthetic on the side to side, I would honestly say they're very height wise similar to the classic Throne, and how high up on the ankle they go. They feel very similar to what the Throne feels like. And I'll show you on the skate without the liner in it. So to accommodate the bigger ankles and whatnot, they've actually flared from started to flare about the bottom of the cuff receiver and the ankle protector, the cuff protector on the side. They started to flare them out a little bit, so you get a nice open flare here and all the way around the back. So you're going to get that nice snug fit in the lower ankle where your bone is at and where you need that support and stability. But you're going to have that flex up on the top to where your legs going to be able to move. You're going to be able to breathe. You're going to get airflow and transference. And that's going to be a wonderful option for a lot of people. So the height on it, I'd say fits very similar to what the classic Throne does. And then the flex wise on the side to side, so your Royales, your Farvs, your Torques, your Backslides, stuff like that, even your top sides. It might be the only negative, but I can't say it's a negative because I haven't tried any of these tricks in them, so I can't give you 100% feedback on how I feel about that. But it does feel very, very similar to, I would say, probably the classic rollerblade TRS access, even upwards of the USD 7s, like with the Roman Abroad 7s and stuff like that. Because the cuff itself is very stiff. It is a very, very rigid cuff. And I think they accommodated the stiffness in the cuff for protection for your ankles for when you're hitting and falling and transferring energy from your body into the skate. That more solid cuff is going to be there to give you that stability. Whereas they left it flared out and to give you that feel, that looseness up here, so you're still getting the connectivity in your leg and movement, but you've got safety and rigidity here to keep your ankle safe. And I think that's why that they flared this out. I can't be sure, but I'll have to talk to them about it. So yeah, I mean, these are amazing skates, and I'm very looking forward to skating them and going from there. The last thing I want to show y'all is a little bit more on the shock absorber, the one that actually locks and clicks in. So like I said, it locks into these holes here and clicks into place. The bottom, and that's all it is. It's a little bit shorter than the classic Sifka. It does have the, the lower side and the high side. So when you put it in, you know you're going to be putting it on the right way because it only goes in one way. And it also has a left and a right logo on it, so you know you're not going to mess that up. But when you punch it in, it's actually got the recesses here, the ridges, to actually put it in. And when you put it in, it's protecting your foot from the frame receptor bolt that's in the bottom and the frame receptor housing. Once it locks into place, it's there. And, it's in place because you're all locked in and you've got your rubber showing on the side. So all in all, first impressions on these skates, try on, roll around, feeling them, tinkering with them, shell rigidity, cuff rigidity. Overall, I would give these skates, for being new to the market, I'd probably give them a 7.5. 7.5 out of a 10 rating, just because I know there's some bugs that they're trying to work out, and I don't want to give them a full rating yet because I haven't officially skated them, done any work in them, tried any tricks, any of that. And until I do that, I don't want to sway anybody one way or the other. I just want to give my initial thoughts. So that's my initial thoughts on the new Lava skates. I'm very appreciative and blessed that they were willing to send these to me to give you guys insight and feedback on them. Overall, yeah, I'm looking forward to skating them. I know a few people out there have them and are just killing it, like Steven Swain's out there just destroying it in those baby blue and whites, and that's definitely a fire colorway there. If you guys have any questions, hit me up, let me know in the comments, like, subscribe, hit the bell. That way when you know I'm dropping new content, because hopefully this summer I'll actually be able to skate a little bit more and get out and do some more stuff. I will be at Crowder Power this weekend, supporting the company, hanging out with my riders. I know Craig is going to be there. Not Craig, Carlos will be there. Craig may possibly be there. And from what I understand, our new riders, Derek and Mike French, are going to be there. So I'm very looking forward to spending some time with them and being out there with the community. Until then, y'all, man, I hope you guys get to skate. I hope the weather's letting you skate. I know there's been a lot of rain down here in the south. Pollen's everywhere. Everybody's dying or, trying to canoe and paddle everywhere because of floods. And I hope everybody that's dealing with floods and bad weather is staying safe. And when you guys get to skate, enjoy it. Have fun. Do what you do and love. Until then, y'all, take care and peace, love, and rollerblades. I'm out.